If you need to get a loan but are worried that bad credit will stop you, there's no need to stress. You do have options. I'm going to show you what you can do to maximise the chance you'll get accepted, even if you've had issues with credit in the past. You should check out the guide I've linked to you below too, as it walks you through your options step by step so you know where to start. Don't assume you've got bad credit if you've never checked. There's no such thing as a credit blacklist, even if you've had problems in the past. Knowledge is power, and the first thing you should do is to check your credit history. This will help you understand how good your credit actually is and give you a chance to correct anything that's wrong that could help your chances of getting accepted. Now, even if your credit score isn't great, there are lots of tricks that you can use to improve it quickly. Check out the link I've included below for simple ways to build your credit score so you maximise the chance of getting accepted. While missed payments and recent CCJs will mean it's harder and more expensive for you to get a loan, it's likely you should still be able to. That doesn't mean that you necessarily should. If you need to borrow to pay a bill, then speak to the lender to sort out a repayment plan first. The last thing you want to be doing is in a situation where you have to rob Peter to pay Paul. Now, if you have savings, then it's definitely worth considering using them rather than borrowing. And if you really need the money and can't afford whatever you're buying without borrowing, then give yourself a bit of a sense check first to make sure you actually need it and couldn't get it cheaper. The less you borrow, the less you'll have to pay back in interest. Don't go straight for a payday or high-cost loan. They're really expensive ways to borrow, and getting one could actually make it harder for you to get credit again in the future. It's better to look at other options first. You might think the best place to go first is your bank, but in reality they're no more or less likely to give you a loan than any other lender. You'll still have to go through the same credit and affordability checks as everyone else. Now instead, look for lenders that let you check your chance of acceptance before you apply. This gives you a way of finding out whether you can get the loan without hurting your credit history. If you get rejected by one lender, then don't apply with another straight away, as it will do you more harm than good. You should be able to find out why your application was turned down and then can focus on making things right before you apply again. If you need to borrow with bad credit, you have a few options. A credit card could give you access to the cash you need and, depending on your credit history, could actually help you borrow interest-free. You may even be able to transfer money from your credit card to your current account and then pay it back over time, just like a loan. The brilliant thing is you can check which credit cards you're likely to get on money.co.uk without actually applying. This is a fear-free way to find out whether this is an option. I've included a link to our credit card acceptance checker below. Now, guarantor loans can give you a way to borrow if a friend or relative is willing to take joint responsibility for the loan and promise the lender they'll pay it back if you can't. It can be a good option if you've got bad credit, but it's really important your guarantor knows what they're getting themselves into, as they could be left footing the bill if you start to struggle. Now, your overdraft might seem like an obvious choice, but it actually can work out more expensive than a payday loan, especially if you go over your limit or take ages to pay it back. Now, check your limit and the cost before considering this option, and if you do go down this route, pay it back as quickly as possible. If you need to borrow a larger amount for a number of years, then an unsecured loan could be worth considering. You might not get the best buy rates, but it could actually be more affordable than other options, and you should be able to check your chance of getting accepted before you borrow too. Before you check out your options, you need to work out what you can actually afford to repay first, then work backwards to look at where to get the money from. Borrow as little as possible and pay it back over as short as time as possible, so you don't pay a penny more in interest than you absolutely have to. So that's how to borrow with bad credit. Please like or share this video, and if you've got any questions at all, then comment them below and I'll do my best to help.